Welcome everybody. We're going to get started here in just a couple minutes. We still have some people who are joining us to our Canvas Parent Night tonight. And thank you so much for joining us.
Our chimes have slowed down a little bit.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Once again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. And Rachel, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I will do the same thing.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rachel Michael. I'm the district instructional specialist for our secondary schools. I am also one of our Canvas administrators. So I'm going to be walking you through some Canvas items today, kind of a Canvas 101. And I am joined by Dr. Cindy Swartz and Dr. Joseph Kelly today, and I will let them introduce themselves as well.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, I'm Dr. Cindy Swartz. I'm the CTE coordinator in the district, and just make sure that everyone stays muted so that we can stay on schedule. Joe?
Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly, and I will also be helping to moderate things here. And I'm also serving as the Director of Secondary Curriculum and Instruction. So if you ever need anything in that area, feel free to reach out.
All right, thanks, guys. As Dr. Swartz said, we're going to keep everybody muted, please, today. That'll help us stay on track. Just a quick heads up, this meeting's being recorded. We'll record it and save it, and at some point we will post the meeting so you'll have access to a recording. Also, make sure that if you do have a question, you place that in the chat. Dr. Swartz is going to be moderating that chat for us tonight. I can't guarantee you that we'll be able to get to every single question, but we'll do our very best. We are scheduled to go from 6 to 7, so we will definitely be respectful of your time, and at 7 o'clock we'll shut her down. So feel free to put anything in the chat and we will do our absolute best to get with you. So I'm looking at the Canvas Parent Family Guide right now. This is a Canvas course. So this is something that looks much like what your student would see in Canvas as one of their teacher's courses. I created this course specifically for parents, and we do have a link for you to be able to join this course. That way you can get to it whenever you want to. All the information is there, all the links are there, and all the how-to guides are there. So I want you to notice over here on this side, we're in the home area, but I also have a link to Canvas's website that has a parent observer guide. And I also have a link to the district website. So between these 3 items, you should be able to find any answers that you need in Canvas. So the purpose of the course is because I wanted to make sure everybody had an introduction to the LMS, and LMS stands for Learning Management System. And we are really, really fortunate here in DeSoto to have a learning management system right now. There are many districts in the United States and in the area that don't have an LMS, who are really struggling to unify their learning and teaching right now as students. So we're really, really feeling fortunate right now. We're going to talk about how you can pair with your student so that you can keep an eye on what's going on, stay up to date with what's happening in your students' courses. So I'm going to walk you through this course, but when you join the course and as you walk yourself through it, know that it is an unmoderated course. So that means I'm not going to be going into this course to check my inbox or answer questions. This is strictly a course for you to peruse at your own pace. So at the bottom, I'm going to click here to begin and we'll start walking through. So this is basically what an LMS is, and we're using an LMS as a digital learning environment to manage many aspects of our students' learning process. Some of the benefits are we can simplify teaching and learning because we're connecting all of the digital tools that our teachers are using in one place. So if you think about all of the tools that we have with technology, we're able to centralize those in Canvas. It's easy and it's open for everybody and it's adaptable to our needs and it's extremely secure. And it also streamlines instructional delivery for our teachers and our students. They can submit feedback to and from each other without having to utilize email. And it can also streamline communication to families regarding grades, communications, announcements, and things of that nature. Students benefit because they can easily find all of their course materials. They don't have to go to Google Classroom for one place or a website that's different for another. They can go straight to Canvas and get all the materials they need from their teacher. They can collaborate with their classmates because we have the ability to activate discussion boards. So they can, in live time, real time, collaborate with other students in their course and their teacher. They can learn through quizzes and other activities. They can receive assignments and submit their assignments. Their teachers can even critique and put feedback on those assignments directly inside of Canvas instead of having to type out a lengthy email. They can use video to do that, which is fantastic. Students really like to see their teachers' faces and hear the feedback on their assignments. We are fortunate again that we've got the Google Suite for Education and Office 365 tools, which integrate wonderfully with Canvas. They've got an online grading book. And then again, the communication is really one of the benefits of Canvas. We've got announcements, grade notifications, and other things that you can get on your preferred device. So I want to touch on Canvas versus Skyward real quick. There is a difference. You do need both. So Canvas is not a replacement for Skyward. Skyward is kind of your final destination for your students' grades. That's where your report cards are going to be found. If there's any question about a grade, a final grade, Skyward is going to be your final destination. So you can see in this visual kind of the difference between the two. Canvas is going to allow you to check on your students' progress. It allows you to look at the assignments. If your student says, hey, my homework's all done, you can look inside of Canvas and say, I'm not sure that's true. I see a missing assignment for that teacher. You can look at their grades and you can look at their calendar and see what's coming up. And you can also communicate directly with their teacher inside of Canvas without having to use email. Skyward, on the other hand, is the system that you're going to use for viewing basic student information. Student IDs are in there. It's where we pay fees. Attendance is in there. And like I said, report cards are there as well. So you can see that Skyward and Canvas, they work together, but they have two completely different functions. And we do need both of those. You do have some options for accessing Canvas. So two options for you are in the web browser. So like right now on your computer, you may have Canvas open, or you can download the Canvas Parent app. There are differences in the interface and in the capabilities of both of those platforms, and you can see that here. On the web browser, you get a little bit more functionality. You can see the dashboard, so you can see all of your students' courses, a picture of those, and the calendar. You can view assignment submissions and feedback, rubrics, and an inbox. With the parent app, it's more of like your grades at a glance. You can sort it by student. You can get notifications by student. And just like any other app on your phone, you can get notifications when a student turns in an assignment or if something is missing. However, it's not going to be as robust as that website application. It's useful to have and it's handy, but having both of them will definitely help. And in this Canvas course I created, there are links to both of those apps on this page, so you can download both of those apps for your use. So I have some instructions for creating a parent account, and we aren't going to walk through these step by step, but I want you to know that they are here and how to access these so that you know how to get that parent account should you need it. Right now, I've got 3 different steps. One of them is getting a pairing code from your student. One of them is creating a parent account. That's our step 2. And then if you have another student in the district, you can add an additional student. Some of you may already have a Canvas parent account and just need to add another student, and this will walk you through that as well. So the first PDF is going to walk you how to get a student pairing code. Your student can do this for you. This is the easiest way to get a pairing code. The teacher could do this, but we're asking students to generate these for parents right now. So here is the link how to do that. It is a PDF. So if you want to pop that open and print it at some point, you're more than welcome to do that. Second on the list is creating a Canvas account. So if you are a parent and you currently do not have a Canvas parent account, your step after getting a pairing code is to create that account. So I've got instructions for how to get there. It's easiest to do that on our district website. And then the instructions for creating that, you can see the boxes up here at the top. They're kind of small, but you'll see them in the PDF for creating a parent account. Something I want to add, if you are a parent that is also a school district employee, you're going to want to create your Canvas parent account with a personal email address, not your school email address. That just won't work together. So just know that if you're a district employee, your Canvas parent account has to be created with a different email address. And then third on the list here is how you're going to add an additional student once you've got that parent login created. So you'll get another pairing code and you'll just be able to add another student. And then you'll be able to view both students or all of your students at once when you get into Canvas. It's really fun to let them know that you can do that. It's really kind of cool to go, hey, look what I can see. And then they start processing that pretty quickly. So logging into Canvas is pretty easy once you've created your account, as long as you remember your password and your the email that you used. It's very easy to log in. The login instructions are here. You're always going to log in at usd232.instructure.com. I like to keep it bookmarked on my web application, like on Chrome. I've got it bookmarked. You can also get there through the district website. So if you ever kind of can't remember where to go, the district website also has a Canvas link. So there are also instructions on the page how to do that in the mobile app. So that's all here. So when you open your parent account and you pair with a student, you're going to be an observer in the account. You won't be a teacher in the account. You won't be a student in the account. You're going to be an observer in the account. And the observer accounts have certain permissions that make them specific to just an observer that are different than obviously a teacher or a student. So keep in mind that there are things that teachers may choose to keep hidden off their Canvas page that may direct you to places that you don't need to go. So what I show you today may not look exactly like what your child's teacher has put on Canvas, but this should be a basic overview. So here is kind of an overview of what observers can see. You're going to have a navigation bar over on the left, and you can see there's a calendar and the inbox. So the inbox is where you can message back and forth with your teachers. And the dashboard is where you'll be able to see all of your students' courses. And then this over here on the right is really handy. This is the course stream. So this is what's coming up for your student. So it will literally produce a list for you of what the student has coming up. And your students' teachers should be putting assignment due dates on anything that they have expected to be submitted by a student. Down here, it kind of walks you through the numbered diagram that I've got for the navigation and where you need to go. And then again, here at the bottom, please note that teachers frequently hide one or more items to kind of streamline the courses. At the bottom, I've got a link here that says for more information. That will take you directly to the Canvas Help website, where it has more detailed instructions, some more in-depth instructions if you want to read more about what observers can do and can't do inside their Canvas account. Speaking of which, observers cannot submit assignments or take quizzes. I think that's kind of an obvious one. You can't join course groups, so you can't join in a group that your student is part of. You can't be part of group discussions. You can't send messages to students. You can only message the teacher, and you can't see the course roster. So you can only interact and see what your student is seeing. So I'm not sure what's not popping up here. I may have to have you at some point, everybody go into the course. There is a picture on how to view student grades. I'm not sure why that's not showing up right now on my screen. It may be because I'm in my student view. Let me see if I can fix that really quick. There we go. Let's just leave it like this. So viewing student grades, it walks you through the 3 steps to view your student grades. And you can see in the picture that it also will tell you if your student has something missing, but you're going to be looking for grades. And then another reminder here at the bottom, for final grades, report cards, quarterly grades, Skyward is the go-to place. So if you see a grade in Canvas that doesn't quite match up with Skyward, Skyward is going to be the final answer, and your teachers will probably let you know that. If there is ever a question about a discrepancy in grades, just make sure you contact your student's teacher. Something great about Canvas is that you can change your notification preferences. So when teachers submit assignments, when students submit assignments, when due dates are posted, when announcements are posted, you're going to get notifications for those. And some people love to get all that email. Some people don't want to get all of that email. And the beauty of Canvas is that you can customize your notifications and get as much as you want whenever you want to. And so as an observer, you can adjust the type and the frequency of those notifications. So this visual just basically shows you how to do that. You can see due dates, grading, policies, course content, and I have a key at the bottom, so you can choose to be notified right away, or you can just get a daily summary, and that's what I like to do with my kiddo. You can get a weekly summary, or you can say, don't send me anything. It just kind of depends. So here's the button again for more information on how to adjust your notifications. Just know if you're somebody who says, I don't want to get all those emails, it's driving me crazy, you can adjust those notifications. If you are someone who prefers a different language, that is also a setting that can be fixed inside Canvas. So your user settings are over in the left-hand sidebar, and it's got usually some sort of an avatar where it says account. And so you'll go to account and then settings. And then there's an edit settings that will allow you to choose your preferred language. And so that'll choose a language for you in your observer account. It doesn't change the language that your student views their Canvas in. Always remember to scroll to the bottom and click update settings when you make changes to anything like notifications, or in this case, your language options. And Canvas Help. So this is a big one right now. We are very lucky. Canvas has a really great support line. They have some options for getting help. There are help guides on the Canvas website, and I've linked to those over here. And then also in the navigation, there is an icon that looks like this that says help, and you can see that right over here. This will allow you to call Canvas, and your student also has the option to do chats with Canvas, and they're very interactive. They're very backed up right now, as you can imagine, with everybody going digital. Response times are a little bit slow right now. But if your student has issues with Canvas, or if you have technical issues with Canvas, this is how to contact them. If you've got issues that are unrelated to Canvas, this guideline should help as well. So obviously with Canvas, I just gave you information on how to get help with Canvas. If you're having issues with Skyward or your student's MacBook or some student tech issue that's not related to Canvas, that is going to be our help desk, which is K-12 ITC. I've got the phone number here and also their website. And if you're having issues with Zoom, Zoom also has a support website. So these are 3 different areas with 3 different helplines for you to contact depending on the issue. Sometimes it's just a matter of knowing which one to choose. So hopefully this will help you, and you can share this with your student as well. So that's the complete course. This is my little congratulations. You made it through the course. So that's it. It's available for you. I gave Dr. Swartz the link to this course. You can self-enroll in this course and walk through it just like I did for you as a student, and view it all over again if you want to. I'm hoping to get that posted on the district website as well, just so you can see. If I click on the parent and observer guide, it's going to open up in a new tab. And there's a table of contents. It's very user friendly. So this is here if there's any questions that I didn't get to or that you would like to ask. Okay.
So Rachel,
Yeah.
I do have a quick question from the chat. I've been moderating a few of the questions.
Okay.
One of the parents that shows the summary of all the week that are upcoming, that are due. And I believe it was in that one, like the first couple of slides that you were showing, that shows that the calendar on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Coming.
All right, I'm gonna flip through here. So Dr. Swartz, what was that question again? You cut out for part of it.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. So the question is, can you show the screen, that students and parents see, that shows a summary of all the assignments that the student is working on for that week?
Oh, I think that was where the grades were. I think that's where it was. So let me get back to that one, because I think that's where I had to hop out of student view because it wasn't showing it. So let me go through here and find that one. Is it this one, or is it maybe the grades? Let's go.
I think it might be that one right there.
This one? Or maybe the one before?
Yeah, it's on the dashboard.
Do I need to go back one?
I believe so.
This one?
Yeah, right there. Yeah. So on the right-hand side, it shows that, what's coming up that week, or possibly even within the next week, so students can see it right away of what they need to be working on.
That's really great too, because it also, if a teacher has messaged a student saying, hey, this is missing, you need to turn it in, that will show up over there too. So anytime a student has communication from a teacher, it's going to populate over on the side, either as coming up or even in a to-do list. So I tell my teachers all the time to just preach over and over to your students to always check Canvas, their homepage, for anything that shows up in that sidebar, because that's kind of going to be their hub to know what's coming up and any teacher communication. That way they don't miss anything.
And we did have another parent that asked about where we might see, missing assignments or completed assignments.
Sure. So I think that was in on my next one. And I don't have a Canvas parent account, so I have to apologize. I can't show you an actual view so you can see that. However, when you're checking for grades on the right side of the dashboard, you'll see something that looks like this, and click view grades. Then you can see it'll have arranged by due date, and you can see where it'll say missing or where it'll say late for each assignment. And if it's not missing or late, you can see how many points they've earned for that assignment. So they'll populate in a list.
And there's some other questions in here. Parent certain assignments maybe that have been turned in that were showing up as late. And for something like that, I would contact the teacher directly if you have questions about specific assignments. On assignments, if there's a symbol in there for a grade, I would definitely contact the teacher. Some of the teachers have their own symbols for what they use to signify what that might mean on an assignment being turned in.
And sometimes something will look like it's missing and it's just that the due date hasn't come yet. So like Dr. Swartz says, sometimes it just depends on how a teacher enters that assignment. And I will, in full disclosure, right now with Skyward and Canvas, we're having some communication issues between those two platforms. So there may be a few inconsistencies while we work out those kinks. But if there is a question, always contact the teacher and they should be able to clear that up for you pretty fast.
Yeah, there's another question in here about are all assignments from all teachers on the calendar? And the parent says that she has one teacher that is not showing assignments on the calendar. So it's possible that maybe they just don't have any assignments, or most of their assignments have just been activities that they've done through Zoom. And
Yeah, so right now, teachers have been instructed any assignment that is supposed to be submitted should be showing up on the calendar because they have to put a due date on it. So if it's an activity that a student's doing that doesn't have a due date, it's not going to appear on the calendar. If it's supposed to have a due date, it will appear on the calendar. So it could be that it's an activity they're doing that's just a class discussion that doesn't necessarily have a due date. If you are concerned because you're seeing nothing ever populate for that course, you might want to reach out to the teacher and just double check and see if there's something that's missing. Because right now everybody's supposed to be putting anything with a due date should automatically appear on that calendar.
Another parent says that last semester, their student said that they had turned in some assignments through Canvas, but then somehow they were missing. And how often is this updated? And I can say sometimes, every now and then, if it's a home Wi-Fi situation or other Wi-Fi situations, sometimes that does happen where it might have not made that connection to Canvas. But for the most part, if the student gets feedback from the teacher right away, and the teacher recognizes the fact that the student hadn't turned in the assignment, that's something I would communicate with the teacher with right away, that the student attempted to turn something in and then for some reason it just didn't show up. But that rarely happens, to tell you the truth. Canvas is pretty, it even shows us analytics. We can see how long students have been in Canvas. We can see what pages they've gone to. We can see what they've turned in. We can see even how long they've been viewing a certain page. So the analytics that are provided to us are pretty substantial.
They're pretty detailed. So if a student says to you, hey, mom, I turned this in, the teacher can look and see the interactions that the student has had in the Canvas course to see if they've logged in or interacted at all. So if there is a question about it, the teacher can always go in and find the information. And sometimes, sometimes you do have to give it a good 24 hours for those things to sync up. But there is always a way to double check. So just again, reach out to the teacher is what I would suggest too.
Yeah, and there is a difference too between the web version of Canvas and using that parent app. The app version is only going to show you very limited information, but the web version is going to show you, more options. One parent here says, my menu is only showing view grades, but nothing else. Is that normal?
Possibly. I haven't looked at, I don't have a parent account. I would ask another parent, I think right now would be my advice, or to look through that Canvas guide. It may just say view grades. I'm not sure. It kind of depends too on if your teacher hasn't posted a discussion or an announcement, you're not going to see that in the menu. So it might just say grades. So if a teacher posts an announcement, you might all of a sudden see announcements populate in your menu.
And Rachel, something that we could do here with some of the questions that maybe we're not able to answer because we're not poking around in Canvas and looking at certain access, but we could post some FAQs on the website that I was sharing with parents earlier. And once again, it's going to be our website, like our district website, where we are going to be posting everything from tonight, including the presentation. So here I just put it in the chat. This is the page where we will put everything that is related to Canvas, and it's on our district website. And it's easy to find because if you go to that top tab, as soon as you go to usd232.org, you can click on Canvas.
Looks like this. And here's our
On
Canvas
all
tab
tabs. Yeah.
right there. And here's
We can
Canvas
put some more
parent.
information there.
So, Ms. Michael and Dr. Schwartz, I can add a little bit to that, being a parent of a student in the district for viewing grades. Really, my understanding is that it depends on what the teacher makes visible. And so your menu may be different depending on the teacher.
Yeah, thank you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Rachel, another question from a parent. Is it possible that some assignments are not submitted via Canvas? Maybe they're submitted another way, so they are perpetually showing as missing.
Short answer to that is technically no. Right now, nothing is supposed to be submitted to a teacher, either to a student or from a student to a teacher through any means other than Canvas. We've been telling everybody right now, everything needs to go through Canvas. So the only other thing that I can think of is, every now and then I've heard a teacher say, I had a Google Doc that I needed to send a student. Typically, if that's happening, it's a teacher that is still kind of working on how to get their items that they're used to using in a digital format in Canvas. But it's going to be probably less than 1% of assignments that happens with.
Yeah, that makes sense. For example, this parent even mentions, teachers using other tech tools like Edpuzzle. And the student might do the assignment through Edpuzzle. And so it's not really going through Canvas. And so, how do we know if the students are turning those in on time?
So the Edpuzzle example is good. So Edpuzzle, Nearpod, Pear Deck, all of those things integrate with Canvas, and teachers are supposed to be putting links to those assignments in Canvas as an assignment. So that way the student can also click submit to show the teacher that assignment has been completed. So those are supposed to also be in Canvas, even though it's completed in a platform outside of Canvas like Edpuzzle, it's still going to be linked to that Canvas assignment. So it should even still be on the calendar. So in theory, that's how it's supposed to be working.
And another question here from a parent says, is it possible for email that states where we check to see late, current, and future assignments, grades, or the dashboard, just so it's written out? So what is the best place to see everything?
Well,
I
if
I
something's
find that the calendar is a really good place to go to. I get a broad overview as a parent of what's due now, what's coming up. But I'm the kind of person that actually likes the emails, so I'm signed up to get them, and I don't mind getting those emails frequently. It just gives me an opportunity, a reminder to check on my students' progress. But everybody's different, and I understand that. So really, I would encourage people to go into those communication preferences and set those to whatever best suits your needs.
Yeah, I am a
Yeah,
calendar person.
I agree with Dr. Kelly. I'm also a parent in the district. And so I know I can see in the dashboard, I can see what assignment, but then I also have all my notifications turned on. So as soon as the teacher grades something, I get all those notifications. And so I can see that my daughter has turned things in and that they've been graded. So those notifications are really handy.
Boy, the kids love that too.
Another parent asks, what should we do when the student emails the teacher multiple times with a question and never hears back? This gets tricky when the question is on the assignment that's due that same day. I would say, yeah, maybe then as a parent, you could try and contact the teacher just to find out when the best time of day is that they are checking their emails and answering them. Because I know especially on days like today, where it happened to be a C day, if the teacher is teaching all day long, they're not going to be, constantly checking their emails. So
Well, and
there could be
also,
a certain time of day where they've suggested when to do that.
I was going to add to that too. Teachers all have office hours and Zoom links to office hours. So there is always a way to contact a teacher. They have open office hours. I would say, I think almost every day a teacher has open office hours. And then again, the best way to communicate with a teacher right now is through the Canvas inbox. You can message a teacher directly from Canvas rather than going through email. But the open office hours are also a great way to get questions answered. And each teacher has their office hours and Zoom links posted on their homepage.
Rachel. Another question for you. Is there a timestamp that shows students tried to submit an assignment or some sort of a receipt that they get for turning in the assignment?
I know the teacher has a timestamp for those things. I'm not sure if the student receives a timestamp. But again, the teacher has analytics. So if there is ever a question about it, the teacher can always check and see the interaction reports. Again, I'm not sure from the student side if that's there. That would definitely be something in that Canvas, those Canvas guides that we have a link to. You can search those types of questions on as far as a student view, what they have, because I'm not sure about that one.
And I do know that like as soon as you upload something in Canvas, right away there's a little green bar up at the top and a check mark. So instantaneously as a student, if you've turned something in and it's been received by Canvas. But other than that, I'm not really sure about a timestamp.
There is a timestamp on whenever something is submitted on the student's end. It should have a date and a time. When you go into your account and you click on the course that you're wondering about, you click on grades. If it has been submitted and you click on the assignment, then you should see where the timestamp is.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Just so everyone knows, I just put a link in the chat. And this link is to the presentation that Rachel just covered tonight. In order to access the presentation, you have to already have access to Canvas. So you already have, your email set up, and then that way you're able to go in and join that particular course. But it is nice just to have this access to the course, and we will be putting this on our district website, which I shared with you earlier. Let me see, I'm looking at a few more questions in the chat. More questions about assignments. If assignments are due on a certain date. And of course, that once again, you have to ask the teacher specifically about due dates. Where in Canvas is the box to communicate with the teacher? So the inbox?
Yep, right over here on the left-hand side is where it says inbox. And that's where you can communicate with the teacher. And if you have a notification where a teacher has responded, you'll have a little red, like a little badge icon there indicating that you have a message. So this is going to be where the teacher is going to be looking for incoming messages. Right now, especially is in this inbox area.
Thanks, Rachel. Another question. One of the parents wants to know again, where the pairing code.
So your student will be able to generate a pairing code for you. That's going to be, let me go through here again. Actually, I have a better idea to get there faster. Let's go faster. Well, I thought it was faster. Okay. So on the page that says creating a new parent account in the module, here's kind of a little bit of a visual, but the first PDF is generating a pairing code. You can't do that as a parent. The student has to do this and give this to you. It is possible to get a pairing code from the teacher if your student won't do this for you. You can ask the teacher to generate a pairing code for you, but we've really tried to hand that responsibility over to students to get you guys pairing codes. I will let you know, once a pairing code is generated, it's good for 7 days, meaning you can use that pairing code to pair with your student for 7 days. After that 7 days, it expires. And so you can't use it again. But that doesn't, it sounds a little bit confusing. Once you use it, you're in. You don't have to go in every 7 days and repair with your student. It's just that if your student gives you a pairing code on Monday and then you don't use it until the following Tuesday, it's expired. So your student will have to generate a new pairing code. And I'll also let you know that if you have 2 parents, each parent is going to need their own pairing code if you've got 2 parent Canvas accounts. So if I have a Canvas account for my daughter and my husband has his, we both need separate pairing codes to pair with our child.
Thank you, Rachel. Another parent's asking, how do you get to settings as a parent to set your notifications?
So that's going to be, and I think I can show you even on this slide right here, or even on mine. So right over, I'm on the left-hand side where it says account. If you click that, you can get to notifications right here at the top. Mine's at the top. Yours could be anywhere, but you have to click on your little avatar guy. And you can see on this one, let me click out of that. On this screenshot, it just has this account here and then settings are here.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. And then from there, once you get into the notifications, you're going to see a bunch of different options for what you want to see. And then you can control it as a parent. You can like toggle it on or off. It's just a little, it's like a long list. Yeah, there you go.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's good because you can definitely customize it and change it. If it's not working for you, you can always go back and change it. If you're getting too much, You can shut something off or make it less frequent. So you can pretty much control all of the notifications that you get.
Thanks, Rachel.
Yep.
We have
I think
a couple
keeping
more.
announcements on is probably a good one. Getting announcements right away is probably a good one to keep on. Just a
Yeah,
suggestion.
yeah, that's definitely a good one to keep on. We had a couple more questions in here about specific assignments and due dates. And for that, I would say definitely contact the teacher. One parent says here on the app, her two students are separate, but on the web version, they're combined. Is there a way on the web version to separate the two students?
That's a good question that I don't have an answer to. That would probably, my suggestion on that one would be to contact the Canvas, either the help website or the Canvas hotline. Unless Dr. Kelly, do you have any ideas on that one?
Not at the moment. It looks like, I think this is accurate, that on the web version, it does have all the courses from both students online on the web version.
So research that and maybe put that in some FAQs to put on the website.
For sure.
Another parent is asking, how do you get the phone app?
Oh, yep. So let's see, where was that at? Let's go back. Let me find that for you. I'm hoping I'm in the right course. There we go. Okay. So the links are here. So the mobile app link is here. And if I open this right now, I think it's going to open in another window. So the mobile app is here. And there's Android and iOS. And then the guides to how to use those apps is linked there as well. I'm not sure if that's gonna, there we go. So those are linked in here for you. So the students have an app available, teacher and parent. And so here's all the instructions for that. So that's linked in the course.
We've reached the end of our chat questions.
Yay, awesome.
Unless there was something that I missed. If I did miss a question and there's a parent that still has a question to ask, please let us know.
Thank you. And again, we did record this session. So this will be available at some point for future viewing. And then keep in mind that we will try to put together an FAQ. We do have another Canvas parent meeting tomorrow, which is the exact same thing that we did tonight. So if you feel like you need a second like overview, like you start working on it tonight and playing around with it, and then you need to hop back in, we're going to be doing the exact same thing tomorrow. And the link to get to that Zoom session is also on the district website. Well, thank you everybody for coming. This is really nice to see so much parent participation. I really hope that Canvas helps us alleviate a little bit of stress this year. Again, I live in a district that does not have an LMS, and it's been a struggle for my family. So I feel like we're really fortunate in DeSoto that we've got Canvas right now for our students and our teachers, and it's going to definitely benefit everybody. So I really appreciate you joining us this evening.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.